talk about something interesting, shall we? Robots. We all know that robots are going to be a thing in the future, chat. Androids, sex bots, cat girl robots, insert can you fuck the robot, you know? But, you know, it's kind of cool to look at the technology itself and kind of like be in awe or so for the whole like robots and stuff like that. That's kind of like basically happening. So apparently, you know, there's some kind of expo that happens for best tech or so. iREX. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly or anything like that. It says Japan starts a new robotic trend. So I kind of want to see like futuristic like shenanigans. Robot exhibition in Tokyo. I see in the thumbnail there's a particular robot in there, but I want to see if they're gonna make a Gundam, because a lot of people in my chat on the YouTube side of everything, they're like, we're here for the Gundam.
Top-of-the-line humanoids, robot giants, bizarre gadgets, and unusual solutions at iREX 2025. As always, we got our eyes on the prize. So here's highlights creme de la creme from the International Robot Exhibition that just closed in Japan. Let's get it. Consistency is the mother of mastery, and Kawasaki knows this too well, because just like last year and the years before, Kawasaki booth was the talk of the town. This is their vision of the future, Nippon style. The company brought an entire robot ecosystem, from heavy-duty humanoid rescue robots to nursing assistants, from a mobile cyber horse to bare-bones industrial machines. And it's all unified by a single idea. Robots should work where it's hard, dangerous, and boring for humans, while also being nearby for help and support. Here's the lineup. Kaleido 9 is the updated version of Kawasaki's heavyweight rescue robot. Standing at about 180 centimeters tall or 5'11", and weighing 80 kilos or 176 pounds, it's built for the toughest and most dangerous jobs: clearing debris, rescuing folks, and working in fire zones or hazardous material environments. Kaleido can lift objects up to 18 kilos or 40 pounds and push heavy items like metal shelves weighing up to 30 kilos or 66 pounds, all while maintaining balance even after sudden or twitchy movements. Other tasks that require both strength and stability are also on the menu. The robot operates in two modes: autonomous, based on preset commands and sensor data, and teleoperated via the successor telepresence system. For example, clearing debris is best done under operator control, as it's safer for the robot. In this mode, a human performs the movement and then the robot precisely repeats it with the necessary force and synchronization required for rescue operations. Yet, full or partial autonomy is used for demonstrations like the ones Kawasaki pampered audiences with at a prior expo, since an operator simply cannot account for all the structures and obstacles the robot would need to overcome.
So, okay, so you're telling me that this guy right here, this guy is the one that's controlling this robot, right? Okay, so I'm kind of curious or so that maybe like once this specific tech becomes more better or so, right? Can technically firefighters use this to get into like burning buildings that are like, that's a little bit more difficult or so? So they don't have to put their own lives on the risk or so, and they can use these robots to kind of like, you know, either like maybe like rescue them by jumping out of the building or so, and they just land, the robot will just land on their feet down below, or being able to like, you know, go in or so and being able to rescue them specifically. But then the only thing, you know, the only thing that they have to find out or so is to use a specific like material where they can like be able to store like stuff inside of them to help them out through the fire itself, to help the people get out or so. Like I can think of like many different things that you can do with this in general, like this specific technology. I can definitely see like firefighters can use it and be able to help, you know, like go on the scene and everything like that, right? If let's say for example it's too heavy or so, they can't go in, or unless you're gonna risk your life and die for it, then you can send like, you know, you can send your robots in to go in and rescue them and pull them out of the fire, you know, more safer than, you know, what's the, you know, I'm trying to think, you know, just stuff like that in general, you know? Or like maybe like you can probably, like, I know there's already something like that specifically, but maybe we can have a more detailed, in-depth one for a bomb defusing robot, like a more better one or so. Like I know, because I know they already have one, right? But like, but have something like this would be pretty cool to have. What else can I think of that could be pretty useful? That could be pretty useful off the top of my head for this for this kind of scenario. I'm just trying to think of stuff like mostly that like kind of like risks like a lot more dangerous kind of type of situation where it has like the low survival rate. Oh, I'm kind of curious or so. Would they be able to like save people? Like, you know how like there's people that usually climb up mountains and everything like that, right? And sometimes they get stuck up there or they get injured over there and everything like that. I'd be very curious to see if they'll have like robot technology or so where they can track down the individual and everything and find them on the mountain without them risking their life, and the robot can climb up over there and rescue them and bring them down, you know? Without them being in the harm of danger. Like, I'm just trying to think of things that can help out, like, just humanity in general. I feel like these are things that are pretty cool that can probably be used for.
Next up is Friends, a humanoid partner designed for everyday life. It's lightweight, friendly, and built for daily interaction with people. It stands at approximately 160 centimeters or 5'3" and weighs about 55 kilos or 121 pounds. This compact design is deliberate, making it easier for the robot to move in the limited spaces of a typical Japanese home. This year, the robot sported a skirt, but that's not necessarily a permanent feature. It's more likely that Friends wasn't stable enough to stand in the exhibition aisle on its own and interact with visitors. Also, the robot's hands are a bit of a bummer. They don't seem to have been designed for fine motor skills. Nevertheless, the robot is positioned as an assistant in nursing homes, a guide or companion in all kinds of organizations, and even an assembler on factory lines. Despite years of development, though, neither Kaleido nor Friends are commercial products as of yet. Therefore, internal company research only, unlike the robots we're about to show you. This is Nioki, a mobile service robot with two arms that can work safely alongside people. Potentially, it could get a job assisting in restaurants, cleaning hotels, escorting guests, and helping staff move stuff from one place to another. Built on Nioki platform, Kawasaki created the Neurobot, a medical assistant already being used in Taiwanese clinics. Neurobot transports biological samples, delivers medications, escorts patients, and takes on routine tasks that are often cited to cause nurse burnouts. This is not a prototype. It's a real product. Neurobot also works perfectly in tandem with the company's mobile courier robots. Finally, we have the robot that stole the show from Humanoids with its futuristic design, the four-legged Corleo.
What is this?
This is the Cyberhorse, where Kawasaki merged its robotics and motorcycle heritage. The company believes that truly unconventional transport concepts will emerge in the future, and Corleo is one possible option. You can ride it and gallop on top of rocks, gravel, grass, or any other cross-country terrain. What's more, the robot is powered by a hydrogen engine, meaning its only exhaust is water. An integrated interface shows stability, fuel levels, and even illuminates optimal foot placement spots at night. At the booth, Corleo became the symbol of a new direction, robotic personal mobility, where human and machine become a single system. Of course, the Kawasaki booth also featured the company's traditional industrial robots, but all the attention was elsewhere.
What do you guys think about that one? The robot mount horse thing? What do you guys think about that one? I could definitely see some pretty interesting things with that, you know? Huh, interesting.
There were interesting solutions here as well. For instance, K-Lab is a new robotic system for laboratories from Kawasaki.
Cool concept, though.
This is a smart platform where industrial robots take over routine and dangerous work. They transfer test tubes, prepare samples, load them into analyzers, and connect different instruments into one automated workflow. The system is easily reconfigured for different tasks like clinical analyses, PCR tests, handling viruses, or pharmaceutical research. The robots work quickly, precisely, and error-free, giving the lab a stable sample processing flow and high throughput. The strangest booth at iREX by far this year belonged to Kobe Kosen Robotics. This is a team of researchers and developers from Kobe City College of Technology, known for unusual solutions such as wall-climbing robots. The exact purpose of this unitary...
I don't think it would have a slow top speed, to be honest. Because if it's supposed to mimic a horse, right? It kind of really depends on the horse, how speed the horse it would go to, though. So it'd be a very interesting thing to take a look at. In like, if they make like one successful one, I'd be very curious to see like the testing on it and everything.
G1 robot with its tentacles is anyone's guess. What we gathered from the demo was that hand movements are somehow transferred to Dr. Octopus tentacles here. Anything besides that, and Captain Obvious here has run out of ideas. Write your version in the comments. And get this, Kobe Kosen booth also featured a cheerful window washing robot that easily reattaches itself to the surface if it doesn't stick. Also, let us know what you think this miniature robotic arm is for. Not to mention the robot dog, which has suction cup feet and seems to be designed to clean windows with a brush attached to its head? You know what to do. Evolution, a Chinese company from Shanghai, focuses on creating biomimetic machine vision systems for robots. It develops binocular cameras and AI algorithms that imitate human sight, letting robots perceive depth, recognize objects, and adapt to complex environments. Basically, everything is aimed at making robots more perceptive, independent in navigation and real-world interaction tasks. Paxini Technology showcased 2 new-generation humanoid robots this year at iREX, Tora 1 and Tora 111. Tora 1 is the older, quote-unquote, smarter model. It boasts 47 degrees of freedom and nearly 2,000 tactile sensors, giving it over 7,800 channels of sensitivity. The robot distinguishes pressure, texture, friction, and even temperature. It's
probably gonna take maybe like, I'd say maybe about like 20 years. 20 to 10 years till you can get like maybe 20 or more, probably. Just kind of like by looking at most of this stuff, it might take somewhere around there where you guys can get like Detroit Become Human type of androids, you know? So there's not gonna be a 2B just yet. Probably until like maybe like 20 plus years from now. Hey, Kaki.
Feels an object like a human. Its height is adjustable from 145 to 185 centimeters, or 4'9" to 6'1". Its arms lift 6 to 8 kilos, or 13 to 18 pounds each, and its movement accuracy is up to 0.05 millimeters, or 0.02 of an inch. Thanks to cameras, LiDAR, and SLAM laser, Tora 1 can position itself in 360, moves autonomously, and runs for up to 8 hours on a single charge. This robot is designed for tasks where precision, accuracy, and intelligent perception are key. Tora 111, on the other hand, is its lighter, more mobile version. It has 58 degrees of freedom plus high stability and mobility. A more complex, modular platform lets the robot walk upstairs and over uneven ground, reaching speeds of up to 2 kilometers or 1.2 miles per hour on flat surfaces. 111's superpower, though, is its ability to determine its own height, 145 to 185 centimeters or 4'9" to 6'1". Regardless if the robot decides to be as tall as Peter Dinklage or Keanu Reeves for the day, it can still lift up to 4 kilos or 9 pounds with each hand, and is suitable for jobs in stores, offices, manufacturing, and open airs. Hyundai presented a whole series of products based on the Mobed platform.
Oh. Well. I was gonna say, this is pretty interesting, but then I forgot, you know, Americans already have something similar.
While it might look like child's play, it's one of the most technological and versatile mobile robots today. Mobed, short for Mobile Eccentric Droid, is a robot platform that Hyundai is creating as a new generation of mobility for places where machinery usually have trouble maneuvering. This nifty little thing is about 60 to 70 centimeters or 24 to 28 inches long, 50 centimeters or 20 inches wide, and only 30 centimeters or 12 inches tall. But despite its size, it does an active suspension with 3 degrees of freedom on each of the 4 wheel modules. The wheels themselves can come up and down, change their angle, and adjust pressure, almost floating over any terrain while keeping the platform perfectly horizontal. Mobed can even take on stairs. What changes the suspension geometry in milliseconds is its powerful control unit, where robust SLAM navigation, LiDAR, camera, and inertial sensors allow it to build a real-time map. Whoever just thought of saying, gee whiz, that's...
Why not just put those, like, that specific technology in, like, you know how, like, when there's, like, places or so that have, like, pretty heavy terrain and everything like that? Why not just have that technology on that to rescue people and stuff like that?
A smart chassis? Wrong. It's a mobile platform that can be turned into anything. An autonomous courier or a food delivery platform, a camera dolly for filmmaking, a lab on wheels, small logistics transport inside warehouses with a manipulator installed for moving boxes, and even a robot pet for children and educational centers. At the exhibition, Hyundai showcased 2 options: Mobed Basic, a lighter version for developers, educational institutions, and startups who want to build their own modules on top, manipulators, containers, cameras, sensors, you name it. And then there's Mobed Pro, a fully autonomous version for commercial applications, with improved controls, stabilization, and the ability to work in crowded places. Mobed is designed for a payload of 20 to 25 kilos, which is 44 or 55 pounds, enough to carry equipment, small cases, batteries, tools, or camera gear. In real pilot projects, it's already being used at Hyundai Motor Studio and several Korean research centers as a platform for mobile assistant robots. But the company views Mobed as part of a larger vision, new urban mobility, where on top of the people and the cars moving through the streets, there's these small autonomous rovers riding around doing their thing. There's nothing new under the sun, but this year, iREX has a few unusual and slightly weird concepts and gadgets to present. For example, this peculiar robot control system that looks like an armchair. It's an immersive capsule interface where you can sit and transmit movements to a robot with minimal effort. Developers say the system is designed to minimize the toll on the operator. Nobody's expecting razor-sharp precision here, but basic delivery or transportation tasks seem to be as easy as pie. What do you guys think of this idea? Let us know. Another unusual and, can we say, very Japanese solution is a robotic chair in the form of a soft, fluffy bear. It offers not just rest, but healing and comfort. If you want to share with it, the robot will give you a hug, listen to you, and even offer a simple, Zen-style piece of advice. The idea is that a cozy frame and warm words will calm your body and mind. Would you like to have—
This still doesn't really solve the issue, okay? This is just a bandage on it, okay? Alright? Japan, I understand you're trying to solve that, but you're not really tackling the issue that needs to be tackled. This does not help, okay? You're just kind of making it somewhat worse, you know?
Have a robot like this? Apparently, hugs are pretty current in Japan, where the population is especially prone to stress from overwork. There's many cuddle gadgets, including this pillow, or rather, a pair of pillows. The device was developed by a graduate student from Kanazawa Institute of Technology, who was in a long-distance relationship. The point of the device is that when you hug one robotic pillow, the second one transmits your hug to your partner. That's definitely one of the ways to fight loneliness. Lumos Robotics is another Chinese startup from Shenzhen. Founded only in 2024, it already presented its full-size humanoid robot. The killer feature of the Lumos robot, which stands at about 160 centimeters tall or 5'3" and weighs about 60 kilos or 132 pounds, is its extreme reactivity.
It really
For
doesn't
example,
help out,
the
though.
robot is capable of getting up off the floor in less than a second, demonstrating exceptional dynamics and balance. The second generation, Lumos 2, uses advanced motion control modules, high-performance actuators with high torque density, and tactile sensing technologies for object grasping. The robots are also equipped with their own quote-unquote embodied AI systems, which integrate vision, language, action, and tactile feedback for more accurate interaction with the environment. The company—
This kind of specific robot could be useful for like police style type of thing, you know?
is rapidly expanding. In addition to full-sized humanoids, Lumos is developing small modules for the home, modular components, high-sensitivity sensors, and robotic arms. It's already raised nearly $28 million in investment capital for this line of work. It's no surprise that the Japanese are finding it hard to compete with China, that is oh so generous with financial support for companies in robotics. Purdue, a company mainly known for its waiter robots, unexpectedly presented its quadruped, the D5, at iREX this year. It's positioned as an industrial robot created for places where ordinary platforms cannot go, like construction sites, airports, infrastructure facilities, and huge industrial areas. The series includes two versions, the classic D5 and the hybrid D5W with wheels, allowing it to accelerate up to 5 meters or 16 feet per second on flat surfaces. At the robot's core is a fire of computational power up to 275 TOPS, provided by NVIDIA Orin paired with RK3588. This lets it simultaneously do SLAM, 3D perception, object recognition, and real-time route planning. One charge is enough for 14 kilometers or 8.7 miles of autonomous operations, and payloads reach an impressive 30 kilos or 66 pounds. The D5 confidently climbs slopes up to 30 degrees, overcomes steps up to 25 centimeters or 10 inches, and adapts its gait to terrain, vibration, and uneven surfaces. It's also reported to recognize gestures, respond to voice—
You know what I was thinking or so? For some of the one that with the wheel and everything that can go on different terrains and everything like that, why not put that in like towards like NASA or so, to send like robots to like specific planets or something? Like I know that they have to solve or so like the range or so and everything like that, right? I'd be curious if they could, like, you know, be able to explore like more tougher terrains on specific planets or so, just to kind of like see if it's even like possible to get more data and information on, like they could, like, if they couldn't be able to get certain things before because of the limited thing itself, why not try to invest towards that for this, to be able to do that, to see if what more secrets or information they can learn about the planets in your guys's like galaxy, solar system kind of type of thing, you know?
commands and patrol areas larger than a square kilometer or 250 acres. What we're trying to say is this: competition in China is afoot, not only for humanoids, but also for robot dogs. A Spanish company, Paul Robotics, participated in iREX 2025 for the very first time, and boy did they come in with a bang. Their booth mainly showcased the Tiago Pro platform, a robot designed for flexible manufacturing, logistics, and collaborative work with people. The bot is equipped with safe movement mechanisms, a human interaction system, and adapts to a bunch of tasks like moving objects, assisting in warehouses, or participating in assembly lines. The company emphasizes that its platform is ready for the Japanese market, focusing on the needs of industries that require safe human-machine collaboration. Hiroshi Ishiguro, a Kyosho of robotics and Osaka University professor, thought it'd be a good idea to study potential relationships between humans and machines. So he installed a robot at the main hall at iREX 2025. This android is modeled after a 10-year-old child and has a certain level of facial expressions and a limited set of movements. It's all designed to evoke an emotional response in humans. Japan is actually considering the option of machine-to-machine collaboration. For example, what do you think of the idea of humanoid robot operating construction equipment? It's theoretically interesting, but in practice, it seems like it'd be quite difficult to implement. The sheer number of Unitree robots at iREX this year was frankly overwhelming. At the booth of TechShare, for example, Unitree's official distributor in Japan, you could watch G1 robot battles and
You know what I'm waiting for? You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of that one movie. I forgot the name of the movie specifically called or so, but like you control the robot or so, but then like they're fighting in a boxing ring and whatnot. I feel like this is kind of like that same thing or so. Yeah, there you go. That's the movie. Yeah, Real Steel. Yeah, that's the one. I feel like we're gonna get something like that in the future with this one. These are just like miniature versions of it, but just imagine like Real Steel becoming an actual like a real thing, you know, where you actually see actual robots like actually duking it out with each other.
Evaluate their dynamics. But we've seen that before. What we are seeing for the first time in action at any event is the new Unitree R1 Humanoid. Even at exhibitions in China, these robots were just sitting in chairs. This is a compact robot weighing about 25 kilos or 55 pounds with 24 or 26 degrees of freedom at a price of a high-end laptop.
Because look, this guy's controlling it with the controller, right? And that's how it was in the movie specifically. Well, besides like the main character was controlling it with his body movement and everything. But this is pretty much the same thing, you know? I'd be so curious if that would ever happen later down the line in the future.
One walked, kept its balance, and reacted to voice and gestures. Its purpose is to be an affordable platform for educational institutions like labs and developers who need a first humanoid for experiments and tests. They also showed the quadruped Go 2 and Go 2W, which calmly navigated stairs and demonstrated hybrid wheel-leg kinematics. At the GMO AI and Robotics trading booth, for example, the G1 had a different role. The company is building a business around
Now, where's the robot where it can literally blow my back out? Where's the one robot or so where it can actually like legit blow my back out?
The idea of robot as staff. So
Where's
three
that robot
real
at? Can I
areas
have
were
that one
created:
at
a
least?
cafe, a store, and a warehouse. In the cafe, the G1 brought a tray. In the store, it showed merchandise, and in the warehouse, it moved small boxes. GMO exhibited 3 humanoid robots. In addition to the G1, there was the PM01 from Engine AI and Walker E from UBTech. The PM01 from Engine AI is 138 centimeters tall or 4'6", weighing 40 kilos or 88 pounds with a waist rotation of 320 degrees. It can do a front flip, folks. This robot was also part of GMO's lineup for future rental of service humanoids. The Walker E from UBTech is also expected to join the lineup of robots offered by GMO for events, research, and real-world applications. However, unlike its counterparts, it was quite literally hanging. And Kafusha demonstrated its Android teleoperation system on the G1 using a Meta Quest 3 VR headset. Overall, this gives you an idea of how high of a demand G1 is in by both researchers and corporations. A new player in the field of emotional robotics got it.
Oh my. Deep touch, the illusion of connection. Oh my goodness gracious me. My audiences on YouTube would probably be asking, when can I fuck it? Nyaru, when can I fuck this thing? Nyaru, is it possible to breed this thing? This is the thing. This is what people are mostly interested about, okay? The common people are mostly interested about this. This in general is what people are literally interested in.
Emotional robotics got its seat at the iREX table this year. Deep touch. The company specializes in realistic companion androids capable of interacting with humans in real time. The company website states that the robots are equipped with their own sensory and neural network systems, combining vision, voice, analysis, and micro-movements. It also notes that they can instantly react to a person's facial expression, posture, and tone. The robot tracks gaze, changes eye expression, tilts its head, repeats after.
Dude, what the fuck? Those hands are kind of... Well, hold on, let me see. Is there like a higher quality video? No. It's only a 1080. Like, it looks pretty freaking good. It's kind of crazy though. Oh, interesting. They made the blue lines a little bit more prominent in the hands compared to mine. Well, maybe because the robot knows how to lift weights and everything, you know.
You and forms smooth reactions, no lag. All this is meant to create the illusion of full live communication.
Kinda does look like a real hand, I ain't gonna lie. I just feel like it's still gonna take a while though to make actual actual robots, like android robots. Because they still have like that really like beep boop bop boop 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 boop, like the super stiff movement and everything, you know? It's gonna be a while until they actually like make the joints be like super smooth and like make it look very very realistic without like the jitters and like the weird kind of like kind of stiffness that like robots are doing right now at the moment, you know. It's gonna be a while until you guys actually solve that, where it becomes like so real and naturally real. It's like it's so jarring to see, you know.
However, at the booth, the robots were static, and only a few performed the simplest arm movements or even blinked. Still, there was an interesting installation with a robot sitting by the bed of an elderly person, apparently trying to provide company, as this robot certainly wouldn't be able to actually provide any care. But Deep Touch targets the companionship, education, and customer service markets, where contact and trust are important. But for contact, robots aren't yet smart enough. And to assess trust, well, one needs to know where they store the information collected from cameras, microphones, and how that data is transmitted. Didn't get to see Gundam at iREX this year? Have no fear.
No.
The second largest giant robot in Japan made it to the exhibition. Arzax wasn't just standing there though. Visitors could climb inside and try controlling its arms. The 4.5 meter or 14.8 feet tall robot is now equipped with 4 internal screens.
Oh my fucking god, Gundams are becoming a real thing. Holy shit, dude. You're gonna see Timmy down the street owning a goddamn Gundam.
The operation lets you now move the arms and fingers. The robot itself can also move, but this feature was unavailable inside the exhibition hall.
Cool.
Basically, it's everything you've dreamt of since childhood and seen in sci-fi movies. To quote the CTO of Tsubame Industry, Ishii Hironori, the main thing we wanted was to make it cool and moving properly. But the most gigantic of them all at this year's exhibition was Ziz AI. This is heavy duty, created specifically for servicing railway infrastructure. It drives on rails and roads and does jobs up high under some serious pressure. Robot's movements are controlled by a person, and the controls are intuitive, natural, and spot on. Cameras installed on Ziz AI give the operator a full view.
That one's
the
really
two-armed power platform on a massive base is designed.
I'll dropkick a bitch for my own Gundam. You and everyone in my YouTube comment sections literally want the Gundams. Like, you guys literally want Gundam. You know what? I don't blame you guys, because you know, at the end of the day, it is pretty cool to see like giant robots beating the shit out of each other at the end of the day. So that's basically a Gundam cockpit, is it? That's crazy. So basically, Japan is gonna be the first ones to make actual Gundams, like just robots in general. That's gonna be a thing to see. To be honest, this is pretty cool. I like this. I like this video so far. That's my Oshi, she gets it. Like I like, cause I know like one of the comment sections specifically says like, so this is the reason why we never got new Gundam animations, because we're actually making real Gundams.
Designed for operations at heights of over 10 meters or 33 feet. The robot is intended for painting support, pruning trees along tracks, working with...
What do you mean? You can make a Futonari android right now. All you gotta do is just attach a penis to a robot, and that's it. Just have it programmed to do hip thrust, and you're good. You can already make that now. What are you talking about? What do you mean wait until someone makes it? You can do that now.
contact networks and handling
just
large
strap a fucking
infrastructure
dildo on
elements.
its waist
Ziz
or
AI
so.
has been exhibited
That's it.
before, but for its younger brother, the Ziz AI ZX3 robot, this exhibition was its first public appearance. ZX3 is more compact, maneuverable, and can work in tighter spaces. In the Tokyo demo, the robot lifted and held large tools, performing precise movements that require both strength and stability. The main principle here is human-machine integration. The operator controls the robot's arms in real time, and the system compensates for mass, vibrations, sudden movements, and external loads.
I feel like that's kind of like the best way to do technology or so, have human integration with robotics itself. Instead of having like the robot take everything completely from them, why not just have the robotics be integrated with humans to do certain tasks where it's like very dangerous, but then you can control the robot and it'd be like literally less minimal to almost, you know, less harm whatsoever, you know? Actually, in a robot's case, it's called a dude piston. Okay, buddy. All right, be quiet. Be quiet with your piston action, okay? Miss nerdy person over there with your, what is that? Smug Alana nerdy mode.
Complex and dangerous labor into a controlled procedure. Another Japanese company at iREX 2025 was Kawada Robotics. It's notable because it's been creating and training its robots for a long time. Although they have humanoid form, they are essentially cobots, agile manipulators that stand on the assembly line next to people. This is why next-age robots were not placed near the majority of Chinese humanoids, but in the industrial robot zone. Next-age robots are two-armed cobots already working on assembly operations in electronics and electrical engineering, such as making electronic toys. They also help assemble ATM components and terminals for Glory Ltd. and are used in production stages in the car manufacturing, cosmetic, and food industries. The robots have machine vision and can perform close-call operations with both solid and soft objects. For example, they can gently peel the protective film of a device or double-sided tape.
Pretty cool.
It's not surprising that next-age robots were presented at the booths of several companies demonstrating their application in a whole range of scenarios. Our old acquaintances, Mirakai robots, were also at iREX this year. These cute Disney-style bots move on a spherical
Oh god, not the furries! Not the furries! Oh god, even the furries have completely gone into the robotic scenes. Oh no, oh goodness gracious me. It's over, chat. Shut it down. Shut it all down! Shut it all down before the furries get their own, you know, before the women or so get their own, like, what is it? Those weird erotica books or so. You're gonna see like a werewolf guy or so, you know, robotic werewolf man now, or you'll see like some kind of goblin or demon or centaur thing, or robot centaur or something for like the ladies or so. Ah, god, it's over, chat. It's fucking over. You want Five Nights at Freddy's? This is how you go. This is how you get Five Nights at Freddy's. No. It's not Five Nights at Freddy. It's gonna be those weird women or so in the Western society that have been reading those like erotica books or so, but like they're monsters. Like they're like literally monster fuckers, you know? But like it's kind of like the shitty version of like the Japanese one, in my personal opinion. I think the Japanese ones for monster fuckers are better. But yeah, it's gonna be that same exact thing. Someone's definitely gonna be making it right now. It's probably in someone's mom's basement. They're making it right now.
And can work as delivery robots in hospitals. But there's a catch. Unlike many companies, Enchanted Tools decided not to train the robot to grasp objects, as that remains highly complex. Instead, to commercialize Mirakai faster, they taught it to grab only one handle. This handle is specially designed and sold separately from the robot. The system works like this. The handles are attached to a tray, and the items to be delivered to or collected from a patient are placed on the tray, for example, for laundry. The robot then takes the tray and delivers it to the destination, maintaining balance and not dropping or spilling anything. But Mirakai has another function: to support and comfort patients, evoking empathy and pleasant emotions. The entire design is aimed at this, including its animated eyes. It can't communicate directly, but it can certainly look like it sympathizes with you. Although iREX is considered one of the largest exhibitions in the world, it's especially evident here how much the Japanese are losing.
My question is if you can use the hand thing or so to help you jork it off, you know.
To the Chinese, and the number of companies and developments in the field of humanoid robots. This is despite the fact that the country officially committed to robotization back in 2015. partly due to an aging population. And this isn't just about replacing people in factories, but also about elderly care. Obviously, Japan is still better in industrial robotics. This strength was perfectly demonstrated by the
Damn, that's
Fanuc
cool.
M2000IA robot. Built for heavy
Holy
loads
shit, dude.
weighing up to 2.3 tons, the robot doesn't just move this weight around, it controls it perfectly and adheres to its designated working area. The DCS, Dynamic Control Software for Speed and Position Control, is responsible for this accuracy. Although, if you want to be...
Oh my god, they're replacing the lunch lady with robots. Holy shit, you will not have the lunch lady anymore. You're not gonna have that crazy lunch lady that serves you slop or so. You're gonna have a robot arm that's gonna serve you that.
Super sure the robots can also be equipped with IR vision error-proofing technical vision. On top of that, there was also a number of grippers present for its industrial manipulators at the exhibition, such as vacuum grippers or soft grippers for delicate work with complex solids. Yaskawa jumped on the bandwagon this year and showcased its first humanoid robot. It's surprising because Yaskawa is known for its standard industrial robots, which fit perfectly for the automotive industry, and who'da thunk it?
Now, I'll be honest with you. If I was, I'm gonna say this, you know, it's mostly because it's a guy type of thing or so, right? If I was a guy, right, and I was a tech savvy person or something like that, you know what I would do, chat? Literally, I would literally stream of like making a robot at home. Like I would find ways or so to like learn the coding and like the AI stuff and all this other shenanigans and actually like literally make a robot live on stream. And the process and the fun stuff and everything, you know, I think it'd be pretty cool. If I was a guy, of course. And also if I was into tech savvy stuff, of course.
Billiards, of all things, as well. What's not at all surprising is that the robot doesn't look innovative. Yet, it does have an ace up its sleeve. For this project, the company partnered with another Japanese giant, SoftBank. So, we have one expert in robotics and one in communication technologies, among other things. Together, they plan to create physical AI, a synergy of artificial intelligence, communication, and robots. The same idea was demonstrated visually by Motoman Next Robots. Yaskawa used them to clearly show the integration of multifunctional autonomous robots in an office environment. Two key technologies underpin this system. The first is SoftBank's AI RAN, which combines AI and radio access networks to analyze streams of data in real time. The second is multi-access edge computing, mech, a platform with operational AI, processing data from cameras, sensors, and building management systems. This allows the robot to quickly assess a situation, make decisions, and act accordingly. This could become real high-value tech in the near future, but for now, it's just words and demos. Hybot Corporation is a Japanese company founded over 20 years ago. It sprouted out of scientific community at Tokyo Institute of Technology. Its mission is to make the world safer and more sustainable by creating robotic systems for inspection, maintenance, and work in hazardous environments. At iREX 2025, Hybot showcased three of its flagship solutions. 1. Float Arm, a modular multi-axis manipulator arm for safe inspections in hazardous and confined spaces. The arm can collect precise data using sensors like UT, EMAT, RT-X-ray, and others without the need to build scaffolding or send employees into a danger zone. 2.
That's
Squid,
pretty cool, actually.
an autonomous system for inspecting boilers and tube coils, which also collects data on wall thickness remotely, without people entering the area. This technology significantly enhances the safety and efficiency of maintenance for various systems. 3. Explainer T, a new system for maintaining
really cool.
high voltage and power transmission lines designed to reduce risk to humans by more than 80%. Simple and useful. Among the Chinese and Japanese companies, a few Korean ones
cool.
occasionally raise their head. For example, Robros brought its own humanoid robot, iREX, to the exhibition. It stands at 164 centimeters or 5'4" and weighs 60 kilos or 132 pounds. It has 31 degrees of freedom not counting the arms and 6 degrees of freedom in each hand. The payload is currently small, only 3 kilos or 6.6 pounds per hand, while the operating time is about 2 hours, depending on how heavy it gets. Only the hardware is ready though. Software is still under development. Nevertheless, the company is already conducting real-world tests of the robot in logistics with its partners because iREX can already grasp and move objects. Robros also sells its humanoids to research teams around the world. Agibot A2, which recently set a Guinness World Record by walking 106 kilometers or 66 miles non-stop across Shanghai, also joined the Chinese contingent in Tokyo this year. The robot has...
The only problem... Okay, so like, some of this stuff is really cool. Don't get me wrong, a lot of this stuff is really cool and very unique or so. But the question is, a lot of the consumer ones anyways, the normal consumer ones, right? That people can, that will probably be buying some of these in the far future. The problem is that I have with this specifically is that I know for a fact I probably would have to say maybe certain countries or or certain areas will be able to get these kind of specific specific robots, because if I remember correctly, right, America tried to do like a self-service like delivery robot thing, right? Like it's the one on the wheels and everything like that. You know, they just kind of like go down the street and just kind of deliver food or so. But like you had like people messing with the robots, stealing their food, and just kind of like doing dumb shit with the robot itself. So like I don't think I see most of these robots coming into like the Western market unless they have like an actual specific robot that can just fight back or so against all these things in general, and then like not have any problems whatsoever. Basically Western protection approved fight, or whatever you want to say, you know. And also thank you for the follow, welcome. So that's kind of like the only thing I can basically see, you know. But I know for a fact the normal ones will probably be more in the Asian marketplace because, well, there's not really much, you know, craziness that's happening compared to like the Western side of things.
A fairly standard set for a successful market launch. Human-like form, height of 175 centimeters or 5'9", weight of 55 kilos or 121 pounds, fast joint actuators, and a stable gait. A2 is the flagship of the young Chinese company Agibot, founded by former Huawei engineers.
Robot?
In the 2 years, the startup has gone from a lab to nearly 1,000 robots already produced. The engineers focus on energy efficiency, fast reaction, simple repair, and cheap production. The robot is trained through...
I ain't gonna lie, that one's pretty cool. I would totally buy that one. Just for dancing and stuff like that.
multimodal models. It understands voice, sees an object, plans an action, and executes it without rigid programming.
The
A2 is built for 8
cool.
areas, from logistics and security inspection to working at exhibitions, stores, and offices. At the show, the robot demonstrated confidence and precision, trying to convince visitors that it can be a quiet, reliable, and useful worker. Lynx Dynamics promoted its humanoid robot Ollie this year. We've mentioned before that the humanoid market in China is starting to look like a bubble, but Ollie is unlikely to be left behind. Lynx Dynamics is another fledgling startup, but it's built by an experienced team that delivers amazing results in short time. Their humanoid stands at about 165 centimeters tall or 5'5", weighs about 55 kilos or 121 pounds, and has over 30 degrees of freedom plus its own drive system. Ollie demonstrates balanced walking, fast stability recovery, and the ability to stand up. Key skills for working in human environments. The company emphasizes practicality. The robot's architecture is open to developers with a Python SDK and a set of tools for training, manipulation, and navigation.
Wait, it uses a remote control for this? Oh my god, they're using a PS4 controller for this one. That is actually, yeah, that is actually a PS4 controller with a little like screen monitor in the middle of it instead of the normal PlayStation thing in the center area, but everything else is PlayStation. That's crazy.
Training, manipulation, and navigation. Lynx promotes Ollie as a platform for embodied AI, capable of performing basic tasks like carrying objects, simple manipulations, and moving over uneven surfaces. But the robot's main advantages are its accessibility and trainability. At iREX 2025, MechMind Robotics showed how its unified system works, calling it eyes, brain, hands. It combines 3D vision, artificial intelligence,
cool.
and
like
precise manipulators.
Actually.
At the booth, robots independently found, grabbed, sorted objects, folded clothes, and confidently worked with things that are difficult for ordinary grasping systems. Their embodied intelligence technology makes the robot not just an executing machine, but an autonomous agent capable of seeing, analyzing, and acting in the real world. MechMind positions itself as a leader in the field where AI, sensors, and mechanics become a single whole. Their developments are already used in car, metalworking, and logistics industries, and iREX 2025 served as a platform for the company to demonstrate that these technologies are ready to move beyond factory floors and into service scenarios. That's it, folks. What's your impression of this year's iREX? Do you think humanity will be able to build a, quote, sustainable society through robotics? Let us know in the comments. In the meantime,
I think, like, as much as like there's issues in Japan itself, I think the Asian market might be able to do a more better sustainable, like, to a degree, right? To a degree. This is just like my hypothetical thing or so, right? Because they're kind of like doing like human integration with robot, compared to like the Western side of things, where they kind of want to replace people with just robots, you know. But I understand, like, the more lower end jobs should be replaced. The stupid tasks or so should be replaced by robots, like, overall, nobody really needs to do that. So but like, definitely, like, the Asian market will probably do more of a better integration with robotics itself compared to it. Any high trust society will use robotics efficiently. Yeah, that's the thing itself. Definitely not the Western. The Western side definitely are not gonna do it. They're kind of a little bit more. What's the word for it specifically? I guess greedy would be the word, or kind of like, yeah, I guess that technically is, because like they're trying to basically replace, they want to be able to replace people completely so they can have the money to themselves and not having to pay like actual like normal people in general. While definitely with the high societal trust or so, they can definitely do more integration instead of having it be, being replaced completely, I think they definitely understand specifically what the tech is supposed to be compared to like the Western side of things. So, but who knows? We'll see what happens at the end of the day. Like I said, this is still all early processes of robots. I'd still say it's gonna be a while until we get something like this or so for all of the common people. It'll be a while until we get, our own like 2B, or another one. Freaking Miss Stellar Blade, It's gonna be a while until we get anything like that, I'd probably say at least like I'd say about at least 20 years, maybe more than 20 years. I'm gonna have to say a good rough estimate about there. Because the problem is you have to solve the kind of like the stiffness of movement, No, it's not replacing OnlyFans. Women are gonna be obsolete anyways when they make robot waifus anyway, so so it's gonna be a while until they make their own like 2B and Eve kind of type of robots where you can like be able to customize them and then not have the weird stiffness and they actually feel, or like it'll be a while until you get like something like this or so too. This is probably like the best reference too. Detroit Become Human. It's gonna be a hot minute until you manage to get a Detroit Become Human type of people, where you can have, this in general. Where like the movement is like so fluid that you can't even tell it's a robot. That is basically is what's gonna happen. And it's gonna take a while until we get something like this. But yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It's pretty cool to see some of the advancements in technology, to be honest. Tech is always really cool to see, like, just because at the end of the day, humans have integrated DNA or so for them to evolve, So it's pretty cool, But yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the video. And peace.